Мене звати Артур, я з Бразилії, я розмовляю українською. That's all I know. So I start with the ukulele to welcome you in the room in a different way because I'm passionate about music. I love the instrument. And also I speak your language somehow, or I try to, because I get so nervous by playing in front of you and speaking your language that whatever comes next, I will be okay. So the peak of nervosity was already there. Welcome. So, I'm Artur Margonari, a Brazilian guy living in Belgium for about 5 years now. I started cleaning printer machines. That was my first job. It was 64 screws to remove the big functional machine, remove the toner, put all the screws back and send to the client. And then I went to the help desk where people were, how can I say, they were mad, they were a bit upset. And they say some names about my mother. Sir, my mother has nothing to do with this. I'm here to help you. No, but it's already the third time that it happened. All right, have you checked it if it's plugged in the energy? No, but it's already, oh. Okay, no, it was not. Okay, have a good day, sir. I'm here to help. And then I started developing in Java. I became project manager and then Scrum Master. I was like, oh, looks like I want to go more on this second one. I start digging deep, became a Scrum Master of another team and product owner and giving trainings and became Agile coach as change agent. You can choose the terminology. And I start going more on that about facilitation and mentoring and speaking to people that some of you already met before, but the majority I haven't, and that's my passion now. I have 3 big goals in life. The first one is to speak 15 languages. 10 that is like fluently, and 5 that I can survive. The second one, I want to learn 20 musical instruments because I'm passionate about music. So what I'm doing here at the beginning of this talk is trying to put my 2 passions at the same place and time. And the third one is to travel all countries on Earth. Those are my big, at least the biggest 3 ones I have. I'm trying to. Then you can have a coffee afterwards and you can ask me how many I know or how many I learned, because I know that is probably popping up in your mind right now. But let's go to what we're here for. I try to introduce myself a bit quicker than that. I'd like to start with a quote because I love quotes. So that's my first one for you. Forget outside competition when your worst enemy is the way you communicate with each other internally. How many emails you receive a week? Raise your hand if it's more than 2. More than 5. More than 250. Roughly, approximately. Imagine how many messages on Slack, on WhatsApp, how many documents you have, how many things you have. Okay. That's a lot of communications, a lot of words. I'd like to do a quick exercise with you. I'm going to say one word, and you say the first image that comes to your mind. Apple. What comes to your mind? Just shout. MacBook Pro. Red. Green apple. Juicy. Who thought about the fruit apple? Is it green? Raise your hand. Green? Red? Okay. What else comes to your mind? Apple tree. Isaac Newton, falling on his... What about energy? What comes to your mind? Gatorade, lightning. Petrol. Green energy. Battery. Me. I like. Sometimes I like energy. What about life? What comes to your mind? Life. Kids, beach. I heard beach. Travel. Tree, forest, love. Oh, I could do this exercise for 5 hours in a row. And you still have this kind of disalignment. So imagining all these emails that you receive, all these messages you receive, how many misinterpretations you can have. Hey, here's a document. Now you have to, I did the requirements. Now you have to design. And then you have to go over 50 pages. So if you can misunderstand 1 word or 2 or 3, in this example, imagine a full document. Imagine in an email. How many miscommunication, how many information loss we have, right? And that's why I actually created this session, to talk about how we can align and make sure that everyone is thinking that apple is a green apple that is beaten on the side and there is a leaf coming up. And there is no question about that. So how can we make sure that in our companies, in our teams, we are having this alignment? Okay. So the menu of today, this I like and I don't like. I actually don't like this index stuff, but I like to do that sometimes to align. Because then if you, that's totally out of what you want, you still have time to go to another session. So you're going to see the definition of visual management. Why is it important? The 5 S. 6 questions that your visual management should answer. The examples. The good and the not so good. Some tips and tricks. And what is OBEYA, visual facilitation, user story mapping, overview on those things. And a wrap up at the end. About remote. We are not going to talk about remote right now. I'm not going to talk about tools, if it's Jira, if it's Agile Central. I'm not going to talk about those things. Or if it's Scrum or Kanban, what is the best one? So if you are disappointed and that's not your expectations, you have 10 seconds to leave the room. You are not going to hurt my feelings. It's okay, there are other sessions going on. Okay, we can continue. Definition of visual management. What the heck is this? In the 80s, it was basically the foundation of the Toyota production system. They wanted to visualize all the things, so it came from the Toyota production system, right? It's also known as visual control. You are going to also find this definition on the internet. Mieruka, from Japanese. It's like making visible. How can you make things visible that tends to be hidden? It's a technique to make important information visible to everyone. It's not just one person that has inside the tool or an Excel file or a Gantt chart somewhere. It's visible to everyone. As I said, it's really some informations, they tend to be hidden. So how can you make sure that this information is visible to everyone? This one that is tricky and that's important for you, and it varies from team to team and organization to organization, right? Not only text. So if you have text, okay, then you have a lot of text. But how can you make sure that everyone is understanding that this is an apple, and it's green, it's bitten on the side, and there is a leaf coming up? And it's an information radiator. This is a terminology that is like, you know, the heating, it's radiating heating on you. It's like, it's cold, it's winter. The information radiator is also doing that to you. The information is there shouting at you, and you look at it, you have 3 seconds, you find the information you want, right? So that, thank you for coming to this session. You know already what is visual management. And so why is it important, right? I like to start also with the why, not only because of Simon Sinek, but I think it's important to go over this first. When you have these visuals, that is not only text, but also signals and images and colors, it's easier for us humans to save in our database. Because just text is text. You have this capability of saving in your database. But when it's with images, colors, that's, you can save it better. If you have a whiteboard or something to discuss in front, if you are a stakeholder, if you are a colleague, if you are the team lead, doesn't matter. If you have something to support your conversation, it's going to be more specific. It's going to be more efficient. Instead of just writing on the air, right? It brings transparency. And if you are bringing transparency, my friends, this is a combo. Are you ready? By transparency, you have autonomy. Because if the team can see what they are doing, they can be self-organized. Because they can see it's not someone telling them, like, you do this task and it's going to take you 5 hours. You do this task, it's going to take 2 hours. They can organize their own work because they can visualize all the works. Because of that, they share information. If it's transparent, they are organizing their own work. They are also sharing. Now I understand what you are doing. Okay, now it's, all right, that's how you did it. You can detect abnormalities. Because if it's bringing transparency, they are autonomous. It's sharing information. You can also like, whoops, what is this curve? What is this tangent here? What is this thing that is out of, for better or for worse? What is this thing here that is not really as we expected? And because you can find that, you can also avoid waste. So if you can see everything, you can also see like, okay, what are the steps that are unnecessary? Or what are the things that we can reduce to avoid waste? And if you have transparency and you are being self-organized and you can share information and you are being able to detect abnormalities and you are removing waste, you are also able to improve continuously. Okay. and it's less interruptions. If someone comes to you and say, hey, what are you doing actually? What did you do last week? I don't remember. Just point at the wall. It's hanging on the wall. But hey, what is the blocker that we have? We discussed it last week because we have daily standards, but my memory is, hey, when are you going to deliver that things? And it's inside the team and outside, right? So it's less interruptions. They know already where they have to find the information. And you cannot shout at a wall. I mean, you can, but I think you have some things to take care of. If you see that the project's not going well, or it's red or yellow, it's not green, it's not sunshine, you cannot shout at the wall. That is the reality. We are bringing transparency. We have nothing to hide, and we cannot go in a status meeting saying, "Nah, it's okay, everything is fine. It's shitty, man. It's in so much trouble." No, it's there. It's the visibility, and if the boss comes there, maybe he shouts at the wall, but. Can you see that a little bit by far? So maybe. So you're having some languages here. I cannot pronounce them at all. But you have in different languages, Arabic, Dutch, Chinese, Russian, Japanese, and English. That's basically saying non-smoking, right? No smoking. So how can you switch that from one symbol? Exactly. So you don't need all this. So you also reduce the amount of space and you simplify the communication by one symbol. Quote time. Round 2. If you have no problems, I have bad news for you. Right? So Taishi Ono is considered the father of the Toyota production system, and it's about making things visible. And if there is a problem, we want to see that as fast as possible, because then we can tackle it. Right? The 5S. Who knows the 5S? Woo! The first one. Sort. So that's really coming from people working on like building cars, right? Imagine a line of production, and they, okay, now we need to sort. How can we sort the things that we need, the things that we don't need, the things that maybe we need one day, but it's not here? How can you actually sort these pieces? Sort the things that you need in front of you. You sort in order, because now that you separated them and you know what is what is the first thing that you need? What is the second? What is the third? So it's not a massive thing around you. So you know how to work, you know the sequence. Shine. Your workspace should be pleasant to be in. It's not dirty, full of trash here and there, and it's stinking. There is a rumor that Taishi Ono, the guy that I mentioned before, the father of Toyota production system, there is a rumor that he went to the supplier to buy pieces, and then he says, like, can I go to the toilet? Okay. If the toilet was shitty, like literally, he wouldn't close the deal. Because if the employees are not taking care of their own toilets, imagine my pieces that I will buy. They don't care at all. And then he would go to another supplier. So I wasn't there. It was a few decades ago, like many. But yeah, how can you make your workspace shine, right? Beautiful and pleasant to be in. You standardize. Once you really, okay, you sort. You set in order. It's shining. How can you standardize that people know where to put what? How can you put the symbols where you know what is the standard right now, right? And then, how to make it sustainable? Because if you're the boss, the team leader, the scrum master, the agile coach, once you go on holiday, things go to the roof. Nobody cares at all, because you were the only one asking them to go to the daily stand-up. You're the only one asking them to put the tasks on the wall. You're the only one asking them to update the So how can you make it sustainable? It's for them, by them, and they should be the ones owning it. There is also another S, that is the safety that is coming out. So we also need to be safe at work somehow. And this is in Japanese. So you're going to be certified Japanese speaker by the end of the session. Seiri, Seiton, Seiso, Seiketsu, and Shitsuke. But maybe we keep in English. That is going to be easier for us, maybe. Quote time 3. Yeah, the board is the mirror of the team's daily work. If the board is a mess, it's almost like the pipe that is dirty, so the water probably will be dirty. So how can we make it a clean way of visualizing our work that's not a mess. I'm going to give you some examples of 5S. In case you didn't get it yet, calm down, it's coming. That's one way. That's another way. The perfectionists in the room are like, oh, that's so good. Another one, for you to feel better. Even with the label, what is what, it's so organized, so relaxing. Another mess, oh my God, before I apply 5S, boom, set in order. Who went to the gym already? Like, any point in life? Okay. Who already subscribed just to kind of work out by osmosis, like just you subscribe but you never go. So, you can be honest. We have one honest there. It's another way where you can clearly see the 5S applied. You know where to leave the space, if it's 14, if it's 16, you know where to leave everything, right? The 5S is really applied. That's another one. It's a little bit smaller than the others, but it's a boarding pass that you are used to see. And if you apply 5S, maybe it will be something like that. It's not for real, but someone did this attempt of like, how can you make things more visual and easy to understand? Portugal. How I love Portugal. So that's another one. I took this picture because you can see that is clearly saying what is the ultraviolet in this. You can clearly see. The high C, the low C, and you have the timing. When is the high C and the low C? The temperature on the water, 18 degrees. The temperature of the air, that varies from 15 to 25. And they update that. It's a chalkboard. So it's a clear visual management, bringing information to people as it's radiating information, right? The 6 questions that your visual management should answer. The first one, what is your goal? Why are we sitting together every day, basically, or a few days a week if you're not dedicated? So what is your goal together? Do you achieve it? What is your problem or problems? Make it visible. Do you solve them? Do you improve? And who the heck is your client? What do they want? So if your visual management is answering these 6 questions, oh boy, that's good. That's already a very good way to boost your productivity, right? They're going to talk about how to visualize that. Call time. Call time. If you can measure it, you can improve it, right? So it's basically, I found that it's Peter Drucker, but also William Thompson, and also Edward Deming, and also Lord Kelvin. No idea who this guy is. You're going to find, different authors for that. I believe that was Peter Drucker, but if you cannot see, you cannot improve. How can you tackle something that you don't see? So make it visible. Let's see an example. This is an example of visual management. What can be improved, or what is cheating, on this visual management? Just shout, huh? It's a total mess. That is, yes. More specifically, swim bars, swim lines. There's no swim lines. It's floating, kind of. Less details, many details. What else? Add colors. It's all the same. It's all apathic. Yeah, what else? Remove this big sheet. I mean, sheet S-H-E-E-T, but makes the whole thing become a sheet. What the heck is that big paper there? Jeez. What else? Descriptions. No, but I know that you are a bit far, but can you read this? I'm here and I cannot. Right? Bigger, right? Man. Add structure. There's no structure. I mean, you have some black lines and that's it. Okay, we could go really some hours on this one as well. And I feel a little bit hurt because that was my first visual management. But thanks for all the advices. Yeah, I was learning. And I took a picture of a daily stand-up. You see the guy there? He's 50 centimeters from the wall and he can't read. He's like, what the heck? This guy gave up. He gave up. He's like, I'm done. I can't read anything. I don't know what I'm doing here. The other ones with the hands in the pockets like, yeah. whatever, man, just 15 minutes and I'm done here. The daily stand-up, actually, if you have a visual that is not that good, your daily stand-up will also not be that good. It's a kind of self-reinforcing circle. The better is your visual management, the better are your meetings, are your daily stand-ups. The better your daily stand-ups, more you're going to update your visual. And the more you update the visual, more value you have. More people will be coming to the dailies because they know what they're going to talk about. You have the support to discuss together. But that wasn't really the case. So I have some other examples because I started improving on that. I said, okay, maybe I can do something a little bit better than that. I started learning. In the middle, I put the product backlog and general info. This was a squad. That's what the team I was coaching, that we split it in 2 dev teams because it was like 22 people. So we split it in 2 dev teams, 1 product owner and 1 scrum master. So 1 center backlog, right? And they were dispatching the tasks. So you have the general info and the backlog in the center, team 1, team 2, dev team 1, dev team 2, definition of ready, definition of done, and here's some extra info. And I'm going to quickly zoom in just to give an idea of how it can be. That might be a little bit better than the last one I showed you. It's a little bit far, right? It's far and the quality is not good. I probably have to take a better quality on this one. But just for you to know, this is really the legend. So you know what is a yellow one, you know it is a more whitish one, you know the meaning of the post-its, the title. Every board, anything you have must have a title so people understand quickly what it is. The picture of the team members, the first person took the picture like this, and the second was like, okay. And the third, so we all took the picture like this. You have the ball here for the daily stand-up, so they just throw randomly to someone else doing the daily. You have a forecast of the sprint, so this is the sprint we are in. Work in progress, sprint number 2, with the dates and the forecast. Sprint number 3, this is a forecast. This is not a commitment signed with blood that you have to deliver. There is a difference between commitment and forecast. Let's be clear on that one. You have the timing of the daily stand-up, everything there as well. Another, yeah, just a little bit better. So you can easily see you have the estimations, you have the code in Jira, so it was a redundance of the tool that we are using. If you give a zoom in one of the boards, you have the lanes here, so user stories, and here you have to do, work in progress, that is splitted into ongoing and red bin. The red bin is a concept from Toyota production system that is, if something is blocked, there is a big defect, red bin. So people know that there is something really to stop and say, man, we have to fix that thing. And you can easily see that this column has just one. An improvement would be like probably a more stronger color, but you can easily see that they're blocked with one thing here. And then you have done. Here you have the Kaizen lane. So the things that they picked up during the retrospectives and they want to improve. This lane was first in the bottom. Someone created the Kaizen lane on the bottom. And let's say that as we read normally top-down, they were not really giving much attention to that and say, hey, can we switch? And here it's a kind of global lane, expedition lane, or things that are not related to user stories, and here the user stories. In the corner there, you have the burn down, you have the name tags of people, even with the label. Can you see the 5S being applied? I was waiting for the yes. Oh shit. Remember the medicines, the stuff that were organized after the 5S, you have the labels. So here they have the name tags, and here's like John, Marta, and stuff. They always put the name tags back to their own thing. Here are the blockers. Here are the labels with other things. So it's really trying to apply the 5S in an Agile, in a way that we can visualize our work in a better way. That's the definition of done, definition of ready. With post-its, because it's not carved in stone to 2025. Things keep on changing. And there's some extra info. For instance, the calendar, we know exactly who is going on holiday, who will be remote, who will be hopefully not sick. This is the beer pot. It's something that we came up with. If you are more than 60 seconds late to the daily stand-up, ching, 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 50 cents to the beer pot. At the end of the month, or 2 months, we break the beer pot and we go have beers, or wine, or whatever suits your team, or buy a cake. And at some point they said, but the coach should also be. I said, okay. It's okay. And yeah, you have a clear indication that we get some money. This is another wall. We have just moved the wall, so it's a little bit messy, but I just put the picture to show you something I think I can improve. Aha. Ooh, fancy stuff. So here you can see some tags that are smiley, like the blue ones are smiley, the yellow ones are poker face, and the red one, more sad face. That is a confidence vote I do with them at the beginning of the sprint of how confident are they that they will deliver the story. And then it's a quick vote, everyone at the same time, 1, 2, or 3. 3 meaning like, and 2 is like, 1 is like, we will deliver for sure. And you do that at the beginning, you do that somewhere in the middle of the sprint, and again, a little bit at the end. That is just to trigger discussions. The same of a planning poker is to trigger the discussions. Why can we deliver that thing? Why we cannot? So it's somehow a technique to dig deeper. What are the things that are blocking us on that user story? You can also use this trick. Okay, here we come. Visualize what matters for your context. It's not like, oh, I saw that on Spotify or I saw that on the team blue. I'm going to put on the team red as well. Visualize what matters for your context. Lean startup approach. When you're going to build your boards, don't come with the very powerful tape that you create the full wall, because if you want to remove, you're going to remove and the whole wall comes together. Who already experienced that? Man, it's so painful. You remove the tape and you see the bricks and you are like, oh, you put it back. Let's find another place for the wall. So make sure you make it easy to change, because you're going to put your wall for the first time, and as soon as you start practicing, you see that actually the column is too big. We need another column. This person is gone. We need that. We need, I don't know. You start changing. So make it easy to change and iterate. Co-creation. If you are a team leader, scrum master, boss, agile coach, doesn't matter. Don't create it alone. I did that already. You stay until 10 in the night when everyone is gone, and you want to make a surprise for them. You want to make the most beautiful wall they've ever seen in their life. And then they come the day after, it's like, what the and you're like, ta-da! Or maybe they go like, oh, wow, yay, it's so nice. Let's do that because he's asking or she's asking. So how can you co-create? If you are creating with them, ask volunteers. Hey, I need 1 or 2 folks here to help me to build this thing that we're going to do. And you get feedback and you make it more efficient, and it's their thing. Post-it golden rules. If there is something that you're going to take away from this session, at least one, it's coming. Post-it golden rules. No ballpoint. Pen. That's my first picture, right? You can't read anything. Remove these pens from around your wall. And buy some Sharpies, some Neulands. It's easier to see by far. Doctor handwriting. We don't want to take the post-it to go to the pharmacy and translate the post-it, because they are the only ones that can translate. So this is a doctor handwriting. Yeah, you can't read. Can you read it now? A little bit better. And if you don't know how to make uppercase, okay, make it lowercase kind of, but make it like typewriting, not handwriting. That really helps the whole group to understand what is there. The daily stand-ups will be more efficient. They will be looking. They will be understanding. You won't be people sitting in the back like, screw this, I'm not even understanding. So you really help the group to have more efficient conversations. Make the team's board, it's not yours. Again, the co-creation. Make it with them. Make them own the things. Otherwise, you go on holiday and you come back and it's like, I mean, I was a month on holiday and it's the same thing that I saw a month ago. Nothing has moved. So make it their things. Working on the constraint as well. How long should the tasks last? So when you're creating the tasks, I have something that I tell them is like, don't make it more than a day. Because if your post-it is more than a day, it's like develop or test. I mean, I understand where it comes from, but the conversations are way less valuable. The guy goes there in front, I did this yesterday, I'm going to do this today, no blocks on the road. The next one goes there, I did this yesterday, I'm going to do that today, no blocks on the road. Next day. It's a pure deja vu. It's like the same. I did that yesterday, I'm going to do that today, no blocks on the road. It's, oh man. It's like the whack-a-mole, I don't know how to say that, that's right. It's an infinite loop, you keep coming back. So if you break that down into tasks that are smaller than 1 day, you see the progress. break the tasks down, because then there are a bunch of things on this one. Human feeling of getting things done. You are burning things, so you get motivated. You can see more what was done. If the person is still on the same task, it's clear that there is something wrong, because the task was about to be 4 hours. So is it blocked? What happens? The environment is not on. So you trigger more discussions and you help them to help each other. So the task duration and the sanity of the board, make sure that the red is for blocked, but you have to have the colors available for them. Otherwise, they see like, oh, there is no red color for the block one, green. Oh, there is no post-it for the normal task, blue. And after a week, it's a mosaic. You lost your 5S, it's completely crazy and you don't understand. So make the sanity of the board. And this is the Boy Scout rule. You should leave the place better than how you left before. So when you go there, you leave something, you can fix something. Make it always better. And yeah, drop, add, change, do whatever needed to your context. Keep adjusting your board. It's not carved in stone for 2025. Let it go, let it go. I should learn this on the ukulele. If you are the team leader, if you are the boss, if you are the scrum master, if you are, let it go. It's their board. Let them make things. But I really wanted the green for that one. They took the blue. Let it go, man. It's going to be okay. Let them try. Some other possible elements. This is something I created. That's the stakeholder mapping. You have the team in the middle, and then you have the departments. This is, I think it's compliance, and here marketing, and here IT. So you have the picture of the people and the names. So the team understands who they are providing value to. Who are those names, right? Actions from the retrospective. Not actions, but the good things from the retrospective. I like to put, instead of just throwing all the papers away, I put in the back of the door of the team. So it becomes the mosaic of the good things that they detected. Instead of just throwing away, they can just look back all the good things they've done. If you have a functional mailbox, that's another example. You have the picture and the post-it keep moving of who is wearing the kimono, who is the one responsible for the mail. That's another way to visualize your backlog. Ta-da-da. Here you have the sprint, the date, the colors of the things that we are going to do for us. That's our own work. Here, the things that we are going to do for another team. Here, the big ones, continuous improvement. And here, things that another team must do for us. So you can see clear, it's a kind of a plan. But Margaret Thatcher, plan your work, but work your plan. Make sure that you visualize it, and you can easily see when things are getting stuck and you're moving to another sprint. That's just another way to visualize your backlog. As soon as you get a user story done, just turn it. Or put a green post-it big saying like, done, with a smile, or sparkles or glitter, I don't know. That's another dashboard I created. That was actually one of the first after the ugly one. The backlog with the sprints, the forecast, the dates of people getting on holiday, and the sprint planning and some releases. And here the goal, somehow you can see the milestones and what they want to achieve. So you can play around. You can make different ways of visualizing what matters for you. Visual facilitation, I like it a lot. It's a way to make things more attractive, funnier, somehow better to use. Instead of just like a very ugly black and white stuff, you can make it a little bit more attractive for them. So if you follow a training or just buy some different tools, you can make it more nice. For instance, kudos. I created this kudo wall for the team. They could complement each other. Kudos in Japanese, certification, Japanese, means compliment. So it's a wall that people can complement each other. By the way, the post-its on the bottom, so they, like it was there hanging for them, and the pens. So it's not like, oh, I don't have the post-its, it's there, and it's really useful. You can create agendas in a different way. You can create somehow things that you can discuss in a sprint planning. That was the first version. That was the second version, was beautiful animation that I've done right now. But yeah, just another way to visualize things that you can do in a session, right? User story mapping, this is so powerful. Who knows user story mapping? Such a powerful workshop. Tool, meeting, call it whatever, but you put the right people in the right room to speak about the right things at the right moment, and you align everyone, the noses are pointing to the same direction before any line of code is developed. So you put, the developers, you put the testers, bring the client, bring the stakeholders, bring the sponsor, bring the end user. And you put them in front of the wall with all these building blocks. What are the things that we have to build? What is our first MVP? And everyone understands that an apple is green, bitten on the side, with a leaf on the top. And then we start developing. And then you say like, no, but this meeting is too expensive. Who heard already that? This is a very expensive session. It's too many people. I rather have this expensive meeting now that might take 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours a day than having many other meetings throughout the development, bringing friction, bringing problems that you have to say, but you did that because the business analyst did this, and now I'm trying to do that, but the tester said that. Roll back. Oh my God, let's come back because that was not that. You said that was a green apple, but I said that was red. Isaac Newton? What are you talking about, Isaac Newton? It was not in the requirements, Isaac Newton. And then, okay, let's try again. Wow, that is way more expensive. And more money and friction together, so yeah, I rather align people at the start than throughout the development only. That's just another, a little bit messier visual user story mapping that I've done. But just some examples for you how you can do. OBEYA. What is OBEYA? From the Japanese as well. Certification is coming, man. The papers are separated. You have many definitions, the room, the big room, war room. There is one that is a messy room or dirty room. I hope it's not that one. But yeah, how can you have all the informations you need in one room? If you have 3 teams collaborating together, 5 or 4 or the whole department, how can you have a room where you can go there and visualize everything you need? Who is delivering what? What are the dependencies? What is blocked? What is the next thing that they're going to deliver? I know that remotely we are going more and more remotely, but if you have the opportunity to do that, oh, that's so cool. That's just an example. I tried to take a panoramic one. They have the teams, each lane is a team. They have like 12 squads, so you have all the squads and you have the dependencies and the color coding. It's like OBEYA is something that you can really dig in. The 5S applied, so somehow the post-its that everyone can take. This one, don't write on the don't write on the whiteboard, because it's a permanent one, and there's a whiteboard one. They took the concept of 5S for real. Some Ideation Wall, I worked in HR, I worked in IT, I worked in marketing. I came back to HR now, but I'm coaching payroll. When I was coaching marketing and more business, I tried to make a value stream mapping with them. How many steps they would need before IT picks it up. So all these things that we're seeing there, all these steps, gate, gate. All these steps, IT picks it up just here. So that's all the things that they were doing 1, 2, 3 months of people working, trying to get the requirements and trying to refine an IT, totally excluded. So I make this value stream mapping just to visualize how many steps we have of refinement of only business, and then IT picks it up. And just another example that you can make the things more easy access for them. So they have here the labels. This is for user story. This is for tasks. This is for blocked. And they could easily pick it up. But just the fact, I'm going to do a parenthesis here. I know that we're closing. But if you make this exercise with everyone, say, what are the steps we need to get one thing done? Throw the post-its there and say, just throw on the wall. 1 pager, get budget, meeting with a steering committee, da-da-da, pa-da-da, and you put on the wall, just this act that's going to take probably 20 minutes is already, all these steps, ouch. I recommend, it's interesting reaction. My own board at the client, so I eat my own dog food, my own cookie. I'm not just asking them, hey, bring transparency, make your own work visible, and don't ask me about my own work. I'm not going to make it visible. That's my board. So I had the to-do, work in progress, done. That's my backlog with the things I wanted to do. This was prioritized with my client, with my sponsor. If it was a workshop, if it was starting the community of practice for all the product owners, because I was coaching 8 product owners at that time. If it was starting another, I was making it visible. And every Friday, we sit together, or we stand up together in front of this board, me, my client. That was the thing I achieved. That's what I'm planning for the next sprint. Oh no, but by the way, we just had 2 POs that became a business analyst, and now we need that and that. We need, okay, so let's prioritize again. So I have my review and planning with my client using my board, and these are the things I achieved. So far, this is a parking. These are when I was on holiday, and things like this. So you can also make your own work visible if you're a coach. Go time 5. Oh, it's a cute one, right? So yeah, if you have no problem, that's probably your biggest problem. And yeah, how can we tackle them, right? What's our ability of tackling those issues? Charles Montesquieu, it's a French, Dutch, and political philosopher. So we saw today visual management definition. Why is it important? The 5S, 6 questions of your visual management. The examples, the good and the not so good. Tips and tricks, OBEYA visual facilitation. And I would like to ask you one thing, and you can just shout, we're about to close, that you'd like to apply on Monday. The very one thing that you'd like to say, I want to try that as fast as possible. And you just shout. It can be anything you've seen here. Board for the stakeholders. +1. Personal board. Apply visual management, yeah? Having a visual management. The Kudo wall. Okay. Make sure that you sit together, you take a coffee, if I'm not there, but among yourselves, and if I'm there for sure. Things that you probably missed, and you just talk to each other and say, okay, I'd like to apply that. Have you ever applied that? How did you? And you can actually build up and make 1 + 1 = 4, right? Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate. Enjoy the rest of the conference.
Okay, guys, we don't have much time. I think you can, somehow catch Artur in a corridor, but we have a small gift. I don't know who will be presenting, but for the speaker, yeah, wait a bit. It was very good, man. And actually, like from my side, I want to ask you if you use Miro or something for distributed teams, for this stuff. Did you use that or not?
Yeah, you mentioned Miro.
Miro.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Miro
okay.
is M-I-R-O.
M-I-R-O.
It's a big whiteboard online, collaborative. You see the mouse, the cursors of the others moving and the things created at the same time. You can make a user story mapping on that. You can make a retrospective. It works very well remotely.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So this is a gift for you. That's for sure. Guys,
Thank you
once again, applause to Artur.
Thank you.
And yeah, we have a coffee break, small one.